We get calls from people who just have no idea what's going on in their retirement plan, and they know they have to do something, they know they need a change, but they don't know what to do or where to go, and that's why they're calling us.
I think the main draw is the concern to run out of money, and I think they're looking for some type of answer. You're not taking double-digit losses, you don't need double-digit gains. Is an extra 5% really worth risking your whole retirement on? When you remove the emotions, it's an objective situation. It's not opinionated. Here's the money that you have. Here's what's at risk. Here's your liabilities. Here's the gap. What do we do?
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Tim, after that last segment there, you wanted to add a few things in. Where do you want to pick up at?
Yeah, so I think we need to kind of talk about financial myth versus reality, and I think how it applies in today's technology is really important. A lot of people think AI is going to take over jobs and really make this huge impact, and I think it has the potential to do that. I've noticed, though, quite a lot in my own usage of it that It makes a lot of mistakes.
It sure does, yeah. Me too.
A lot of mistakes. A lot, to the point of you make a prompt that says, please accurately review what you're doing before you send it to me. Especially mathematically and formula-wise,
yeah, that's been my
it's made quite a few mistakes. So I think we need to take a step back. And I've always said this, technology just isn't there yet. We always want something, but then it doesn't work perfect. I think when Apple releases something, it's almost perfect. Not as that's a plug, but it's almost reality, right? Their ecosystem is about as close as flawless as you get.
Sure.
And I think that's what people are expecting from all technology, and it's just not there. And so I think when we talk about replacing jobs, replacing human capital, we're going to start with the very, very brain-dead minutia type jobs to be able to do that, because
we have to remember it's just a tool, right?
It's just a tool.
Really just a tool.
It's not working right yet.
Right. A tool is only as good as the person who's using it. And if you aren't paying attention to what your tool is doing, then it'll do or it'll go wherever it wants. If you swing a hammer without paying attention to where it's going to hit, you're the one that's responsible for the results, whether you get what you wanted or not. And it's the same is true with AI. You have to, like you said, you have to review what it's doing. And I know a lot of people out there use AI to generate all kinds of things, even legal documents, and they never review it. They just send it out.
Yeah, and that's the flaw.
That's a dangerous game.
But if you want to find a place that has brown rice sushi in your local area, AI works great because it will actually surf the menus and do things that, would take your time. So where I'm looking at the fit there is kind of like the old rule was let your fingers do the dial walking, is how I remember my parents used to say, which means use the telephone to make the calls instead of going door to door to get your information. And I think now that evolved, went into the web, and the web has now turned into you can use AI to shortcut that.
Sure.
And I'm not really too concerned about the mistakes that it makes. I think it has a long way to go, though, when we start looking at real life scenarios that can really affect your well-being.
So as far as AI goes, and where I think about it is, I think that AI has the potential to be very helpful.
Yes.
Especially for retirees, people that don't have somebody to talk to, somebody that needs, questions with medical help, and they can just go to ChatGPT and ask questions. A lot of older people that, their kids aren't calling them, their grandkids aren't calling them. ChatGPT has the potential to be like a friend for them.
Sure.
But you still have to realize that when you ask it questions, it's getting its information from the web.
Yep.
And sadly, I grew up believing that anything you see on the internet is true.
Sure.
And until I, was an adult. But there's still a lot of adults out there, the retirees out there still believe that everything on the internet is true. So ChatGPT and AI, they have a chance to hurt retirees as well.
It's definitely
That's a good point.
It's definitely a double-edged sword, right? Because AI and machine learning is coined at least as smarter than thou, right? It's a computer. It's going to be smarter than you. So inherently, there's this implicit trust that should be there. But to Tim's point, I mean, I've done everything from math equations and working out some complex tax stuff to figure out that it did this aspect of a calculation wrong. And if to Ron, to your point, if I didn't know the formula in the first place and I wasn't trying to use, it as a shortcut effectively to do my longhand work, and if I wasn't reviewing it, I wouldn't have caught it, and it would have made fundamental errors. But me knowing the math that I was trying to do well enough, I got this output, and I was like, oh, there's no way this is right. Where did it go wrong?
Right.
So it's definitely got its applications. I think we have to realize it's in beta mode. It's been around for a while in a quote unquote beta, but this is publicly disseminated beta mode, right? I think I asked ChatGPT yesterday, and I think it was, as of this recording, it was October the 23rd is where it's, or October 2023 is where it was most recent date. So we're still, 14, we're still a year and a half behind really from current day. And I also I wanted to teach it to read this book. I was trying to get it to help me with an article I wanted to write for you guys, and I was like, well, hey, here's my brain, here's some bullet points, like craft me a story kind of a thing. And all it did was reorganize my bullet points and give them some titles. There's no creative depth effectively to it as well. So there's different GPTs. I monkeyed with them and I got some better results, but the point being is it's just not quite ready to take our jobs. And you're right. It probably.
Can I give one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I want to give a positive.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's a positive.
A really cool use for AI that I have found. So I'm trying to learn languages, right? And I don't want to plug in for any particular one, but Duolingo is the one that I'm using, and they have on their, you have to subscribe up to it, but they actually have an AI component where you can have a real-time conversation in the language that you're trying to learn with the AI chat.
Oh,
that's pretty neat.
So that you can speak. So it's like having a coach to speak to or another person to speak to and practice with at any point in time. I think that's a phenomenal use for this kind of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because you're able to do that and to leverage it without it being something that's scary or life-threatening. If I don't get this right, it's going to ruin my financial future.
Yeah.
This is a really good positive use for it. So it does have really good applications.
I totally agree. In the long run, it's going to be great. It really will be. It's just finding those nooks and crannies, like you mentioned, that are going to be good for it today, and understanding, the shortcomings or the shortfalls, if you will, in some other categories.
So if we were to look at this from the financial side, would you guys say that we can use AI to help us understand financial principles better, or should we not look at it that way? When we look at the basic wealth building, debt management, tax efficiency, things of this nature, should we rely on AI to help us have insight to that, or are we not there yet?
I think it gives it has the potential for giving good, broad guidance.
Okay.
It's like picking up a book in the library on basic principles of investing.
Right.
It's going to give good broad guidance, but it's not going to give you really customized down to your particular needs kind of guidance or more advanced levels of things, because again, it's a tool.
Yep.
And it's a hammer. And when you have a hammer, everything, if all you are is a hammer, then everything starts to look like a nail. So it starts to do a one size fits all kind of answer. So it's a great tool to use for broad research, but then there's always expertise that's needed beyond what the chat bots will do. Not to get too far away from finance, but my wife is a therapist, and there's a lot of concern on the therapy front of people using these chat bots as their therapist. And it's leading down to some very, very difficult roads. In fact, there's even chat GPT psychosis that's being studied, that people are actually being institutionalized because they get caught up into what's going on. So again, the warning of, it may sound like you're getting great answers, but sometimes it's just giving you answers based on your question, rather than giving you the information that you need. So that's why they need to come to experts like you guys to talk about the financial planning and how it all ties together.
I'd say experts like Daniela as well too. I like to say, in the age of information is free, but execution is not, right? And so, being able to compile all of this data is fantastic, but it doesn't mean you know how to do a Roth conversion or do your own taxes or structure a charitable remainder trust or diagnose yourself for some medical ailment or something like that. It might help you understand the mechanics or biomechanics or whatever you've prompted. It might give you the factors to consider, but it's not ready and it's not capable of giving advice. And I think the day that it can be capable of that is the scary day that we're all, concerned about the Orwellian days, maybe coming sooner, if you will. But ultimately, I think AI is, like anything created for good can also be used for evil. Can be used for ugly heuristics.
Yeah, it's like every sci-fi movie and video game that's made. When it comes to AI, exactly.
That's totally it. So
it's a little bit like getting a sniffle and going to Google to diagnose what you got, and you end up thinking you got a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it just drives down that road, right?
Oh, that sounds like me. That sounds like me. That sounds like me. And it's, maybe we're sitting next to a cat that you're allergic to.
That's a really good point.
You have to be careful.
Yep.
It can heighten your senses a lot, and you start becoming very, very excited because you trust what you read.
Well, it goes back to our first segment, and we can tie this segment down with this is risk in markets or risk in life is generally the things that you don't see. And so that's why you need these experts, whatever it is, whether it's a mechanic, whether it's a home, somebody to fix your home, a financial person, a portfolio person, a lawyer, whatever, is why you need an expert, because you might be able to read all of this stuff, but risk is always in the things that you can't see, not the things that you can quantify. Those things are calculable and you know what you're getting yourself into, but it's always the things that you never see that hurt you the most. Corinne, these days, where are you seeing your applications for, AI?
Okay, so here's my favorite thing that I've used AI for.
All right, let's go.
I saw on TikTok that somebody used AI to pick a watermelon for them. And I've never been good at picking watermelons.
Like scanned it with their phone?
You take a picture of the barrel of watermelons and you say, find me the best watermelon in this barrel.
Yeah.
And then because it knows everything on the internet, it uses all its little stuff and then it points on the picture, this watermelon. And then you pick up the watermelon and you're like,
I hope you're delicious.
Yeah. And so I thought that was really cool because it's something that's not going to change your life.
Is that the one we just had?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure it worked out well.
You shut up. It's not going to change your life. You're not asking it to like pick which, retirement plan to put into, but it can be helpful. Little things like that. The other things that I use it for, because I get sick often, and when you have RA and stuff like that, sometimes symptoms can mask as other things. So, we went on this cruise to Alaska, and when I came back, I was feeling sick. And I told ChatGPT everything that was wrong, and they were like, you just have a cold or flu. Like, you're not dying from something crazy. And I like that because it kept me from having to worry. Like you guys talked about, if you Google it, you're going to find out it's cancer because, but it also has the benefit of doing the opposite with ChatGPT, where it's just using the information you give. It's not looking at all the other details. But I don't use ChatGPT as much as other people do. I see the benefits of it, but I don't use it for anything that's like
on a wild
serious.
guess, where would you want to use it? Where do you think it would be best that you're not using it today?
Probably stuff like household management.
Okay.
Because I am ADHD, and it'd be nice to have something that could make things simpler.
Yeah.
Like maybe like taking your task lists and task lists that we utilize and creating them like alive.
Yeah, calendar event.
But actually like a living task list. Like it starts to talk to you and be like, hey, you have this coming up. I saw you did this. Don't forget you had this. Is that something you want to talk about now or later? Like actually have like a a living eye reminders, basically.
Yeah. So if you're a listener out there and you can either A, make that for us, or B, know of a solution, give us a call so we can get a little bit more productive over here for you. But that's fantastic insights.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll tell you the other thing that I used AI for. I take a lot of vitamins and minerals and stuff.
Yeah.
And I also have medications that I have to take. And I took a picture of every bottle and every label, and I asked AI to look at all the medications I'm on and to tell me if anything seems off.
Yeah.
And what's cool is something I already knew, but like my thyroid medicine, it's like, do not take this when you're taking your iron, and do not take this one in the morning, and don't drink orange juice. And like, and then it looked at all the vitamins and minerals, and it's like, you're taking this and it's got X, and you're taking this and it has X. And if you're taking both of them, you're taking too much of this. So it was really cool how it was able to look at every pill, because
how'd you do that? Take photos? Or,
I took photos of all of them.
So you opened up ChatGPT and you just started taking photos and uploading the photos, and especially for our retiring people out there, I think it's really smart to have a medication list. And when you have a medication list, it should also include your not medicated items, your vitamins, minerals,
over-the-counter
snake oils,
stuff.
all that stuff, because those do matter when something happens and you go into the hospital. So I have a list that I keep, a note in my phone that I keep pictures of it, because it's easier to take a picture than to try to write out the names and stuff. So I just uploaded those photos straight to ChatGPT.
And then start asking the questions, giving it the prompts. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, that's AI in a nutshell here from us over at the Greenlight Retirement Show. If you can help us out, help us out. We're going to stick to the money thing, and we'll talk about some client stories and successes and scenarios when we come right back. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We were talking a little bit in the break here. We have talked a lot about planning and preparation and things and risks and, just a sequence of things that you need to be aware of as you're preparing and planning retirement, as you're planning your investment. Ron, you had a great little story that kind of opened up this real conversation of just, hey, having a plan. Talk to us about that client that you were just meeting with.
Right, yeah. So it's a client that I've had for a long time. She inherited a substantial amount from her family, and we had worked together for years and talked about things that needed to be done. And it was always easy to put it off. And then recently she found out that she was going to have to go in for open heart surgery. And suddenly things became imperative. And it all became very real to her. Now, we had set things up so that she had beneficiaries and everything would be okay, but there's a step beyond that simplifies the estate process, rather than going through probate and going through all those other things. And so that was creating a revocable living trust, an RLT. And so we were able to go through and talk and work through her attorney in this case and pull everything together and get her account converted, her a couple of accounts converted and put into this trust. And it was an amazing thing for her, because she was really uptight, as you can imagine. She's going in for open heart surgery, and she wants to get all this done. And to be able to get that all in place gave her great peace of mind moving into the next phase, which was actually going into the hospital. So it was very important to get those things done ahead of time and be able to get that peace of mind. And the point being, you don't have to wait until you are facing the scalpel. It's better not to.
Sure is.
And it is much better to work with your advisor and get that stuff straightened out early and be able to enjoy your life rather than have things hanging over your head.
Yeah. Real quick question on that, Ron, and then I have the same question for Corinne, because I know you help our clients out a lot with this. But out of curiosity, what percentage of your clients plan in advance or wait for the scalpel or possibly too late? How many people are proactive versus reactive here is the basic question.
I'm going to go with the old 80-20 rule, right? I'm going to say 20% are actually proactive and thinking and working on these things, and the other 80 are saying, "I'll get to it.
All right.
We'll take care of it. Okay, thanks for letting me know. We'll get there. There." So it takes a lot of follow-up.
Well, real quick, I want to let Corinne answer this one. Ron's got the Pareto principle there, the 80-20 rule. What do you think it is for our group?
Well, we kind of have different clientele.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But personally, I feel like there's the proactive and the reactive. But for a lot of people, it's kind of like his client where, they come to us because something scared them. And they get it done before anything really bad happens.
Sure.
But it's not just, it's never like the healthy, happy people that.
Okay.
It's always the ones that.
So you're saying even in the 20% group that Ron's talking about, even some of that is still event driven, right?
Yeah.
Now, Tim, you recognize this at the firm-based level, that not enough people had this as a part of the plan. And,
That's right.
For some of our clients, you've included it in the offer.
Yeah,
right?
we've built a value proposition that has an included offer of trying to get ahead of this by getting your estate plan and other planning aspects like tax planning taken care of now under one roof with one group. And that's our specialty, and I think most people should try to find something that is similar to that.
Yeah.
Because it just takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
Makes things a lot easier. And so I would say for our clients that have gone down that path of following our included model, I would say the grand majority, the numbers are flipped. The people that have gone down that path and have truly embraced it and embraced our model, I'd say is more like 80%.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing. I think that's awesome to say that
Awesome.
we've gotten people to be aware, to get these trusts done, to get their taxes set up right, and not just on their own. And think about that from the relaxation standpoint.
Sure.
How cool is that then to know you retire, kick your feet up, travel, do whatever you want. And to Ron's point, you're not worried about if something happens or whatever.
You've planned the best you can
You've
for
done
it.
the best you can. And I think that's the goal in life, is do the best you can.
Right on. Corinne?
I think you are right, Tim, about our numbers
Hold
in
on,
our
back that up
office.
again.
We actually,
got
this
it
is being recorded.
This is good. This is good.
We're going to have to get a sample of that from
For those of you who don't know, we're husband and wife, so that's always great to hear.
Some days we're husband and wife. But no, I do think I hadn't really thought about the fact that a lot more of our clients now do have that proactive reaction because everything can be done in-house with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it is a lot easier for them to say, yeah, let me get that trust, let me get that tax situation solved, let me take care of my kids and all of this, because they don't have to go and find their Uncle Bob and get some referral. It makes it easier for them to just.
You're absolutely right. In plain English, we try to help people have a full plan. And included is the estate planning and the tax planning.
You guys realize
that's what it's all about.
You guys realized it was so important. It had to be a part of the plan.
It had to be.
We obviously can't force these things onto people,
Right.
but we can highly recommend.
Oh, we try.
We try.
Some of these clients were like, look.
At the end of the day, it's what we want to do for our clients. If you're out there not in our area, or you got somebody else, just know that it's critically important to the plan that your financial plan, your tax plan, and your estate plan are all singing from the same hymn book. They're all working together, because the opposite, is what we have to clean up and deal with as well too. And Corinne and I and Tim, for sure, I haven't been hand in hand with you, Ron, on some of these events, but we see the ugly side of this as well too. The person who didn't prepare ahead, who only had a will. I can think of one client who had basically cleaned out their father's house after he passed. His mother passed away, and then they cleaned out her house, and then all of a sudden her husband passed away, and she was left with his mom's, his dad's, and all of his stuff to go through, and about 5 acres of land where all the stuff sat on. And so it's been years, and honestly, it's not completely taken care of.
No, that's right. And so when we say we try, and we're trying to push that onto someone, that's not to be interpreted that we're trying to push you a product or push you some type of asset allocation. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about wake up, plain English terms, wake up, get your plan done. It doesn't have to be the financial plan. Get the plan done, get the estate plan done, get the taxes taken care of. Because we see what happens when you don't. When Corinne sits down with a widow or widower, we see the sadness, we see the confusion, we see the frozenness, not wanting to go on a vacation because they're scared because they don't know how their money's set up, not wanting to go just enjoy life. It's extremely emotional and sad. And so, yes, we do push to you, clients and not clients,
So
get that stuff taken care of.
I am going to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
We do push, but the reason why is because we talk to everybody the way we would talk to our family.
Right.
You know, if we see somebody that needs education, we help to educate them on the thing that's, not their strong point.
Sure.
And if we see that, they've got kids and they don't have a will, or that they have a wife and an ex-wife and they don't have an estate plan, we try to make sure that people get the same treatment that we wish our families had gotten.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's one thing that we have found that you can do to make it just a little bit better, is to make it just a little bit easier, and that starts with planning ahead. We'll see you next time.